The Anti-Slavery Alphabet, written by an anonymous author. This has been recorded for the LibriVox Coffee Break Collection number 10, War and Conflict. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Roslyn Carlyle. Listen, little children all, listen to our earnest call. You are very young, 'tis true, but there's much that you can do. Even you can plead with men that they buy not slaves again, and that those they have may be quickly set at liberty. They may hearken what you say, though from us they turn away. Sometimes when from school you walk, you can with your playmates talk. Tell them of the slave child's fate, motherless and desolate, and you can refuse to take candy, sweetmeat, pie, or cake, saying no, unless 'tis free. The slave shall not work for me. Thus, dear little children, each may some useful lesson teach. Thus each one may help to free this fair land from slavery. A is an abolitionist, a man who wants to free the wretched slave and give to all an equal liberty. B is a brother with a skin of somewhat darker hue, but in our Heavenly Father's sight he is as dear as you. C is the cotton field to which this injured brother's driven, when as the white man's slave he toils, from early morn till even. D is the driver, cold and stern, who follows whip in hand, to punish those who dare to rest or disobey command. E is the eagle, soaring high, an emblem of the free, but while we chain our brother man, our type he cannot be. F is the heartsick fugitive, the slave who runs away, and travels through the dreary night, but hides himself by day. G is the gong, whose rolling sound before the morning light calls up the little sleeping slave to labour until night. H is the hound his master trained and called to scent the track of the unhappy fugitive and bring him trembling back. I is the infant, from the arms of its fond mother torn, and at a public auction sold, with horses, cows, and corn. J is the jail upon whose floor that wretched mother lay, until her cruel master came and carried her away. K is the kidnapper, who stole that little child and mother. Shrieking it clung around her, but he tore them from each other. L is the lash that brutally he swung around its head, threatening that if it cried again he'd whip it till 'twas dead. M is the merchant of the North, who buys what slaves produce, so they are stolen, whipped, and worked for his and for our use. N is the Negro, rambling free in his far distant home, delighting 'neath the palm trees' shade, and cocoa nut to roam. O is the orange tree that bloomed beside his cabin door, when white men stole him from his home to see it never more. P is the parent, sorrowing and weeping all alone. The child he loved to lean upon, his only son, is gone. Q is the quarter where the slave on coarsest food is fed, and where with toil and sorrow worn he seeks his wretched bed. R is the rice swamp, dank and lone, where weary, day by day, he labours till the fever wastes his strength and life away. S is the sugar that the slave is toiling hard to make, to put into your pie and tea, your candy and your cake. Tea is the rank tobacco plant, raised by slave labour too, a poisonous and nasty thing for gentlemen to chew. U is for Upper Canada, where the poor slave has found rest after all his wanderings, for it is British ground. V is the vessel in whose dark, noisome and stifling hold hundreds of Africans are packed, brought o'er the seas, and sold. W is the whipping post to which the slave is bound, while on his naked back the lash makes many a bleeding wound. X is for Xerxes, famed of yore. A warrior stern was he. He fought with swords. Let truth and love our only weapons be. Y is for youth, the time for all bravely to war with sin, and think not it can ever be too early to begin. Z is a zealous man, sincere, faithful, and just and true, an earnest pleader for the slave. Will you not be so too? End of the Anti-Slavery Alphabet. Recorded for the LibriVox Coffee Break Collection No. 10. War and Conflict.